Division among Democrats in Congress continues for all to see. And earlier this week, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer claimed his party is united. Is he blind?
Our caucus is united. You know, look at this. The Republicans on this upcoming reconciliation bill, which sets the funding for the whole government, they're fighting with each other. Compare that to the Democrats. We're totally united. We're totally united in my caucus.
One of his colleagues said, nope. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders was asked about Schumer's comment.
You need an agenda. Did you hear? You're not united around what? Are we united around guaranteeing health care to all people? Are we united in tackling a corrupt campaign finance system? That is part of the old Democratic establishment. And they are interested in winning elections, which is very, very important. But in my view, you can't win elections unless you have something to say to the vast majority of the people in this country.
That was the Senate. It's no better on the House side. Axios is reporting Michigan Congressman Sri Thandar has Democrats fuming over his attempt to drum up support for his impeachment articles against President Trump. 4 Democrats briefly listed as co-sponsors have all withdrawn, and some said they only signed on because they thought they believed leadership was on board. A new op-ed from the Daily Caller titled, "Trump is making Democrats repeat the same fatal mistake," says in part, during Trump's first term in office and the campaign for his second, Democrats beat the same tired political drum. Trump is a fascist dictator, they said. Trump is Hitler, they said. Trump is ending American democracy. The Democratic base loved it. But normal Americans got sick of the doom-saying real fast. And Democrats, though, are doubling down, growing more inflammatory by the day, escalating their apocalyptic rhetoric, and in some cases calling for outright violence. Here's a taste.
America has 4 more years with Trump, and we must fight every single day.
We have to fight everywhere we can, in the institution, outside of the institution.
We can defeat Trumpism. There is nothing that can stop us.
It's time to fight everywhere and all at once.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now.
These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
Power panel now. Cory Gardner is here, former Colorado Republican senator, and Mark Pryor, former Arkansas Democratic senator. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with me. First of all, Senator Gardner, I'll start with you and this idea that there can be no peace as Democrats go forward. They're going to cuss. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to shake it up. Does that win?
Well, thanks, Harris, for having me. Great to be with you. Look, it doesn't win. It didn't win the presidential election. That's what they did for 4 years under Donald Trump the first time around. And as a result, we have President Donald Trump today leading an agenda that is cutting taxes, that's working to grow the economy, that's bringing jobs back to the American economy. Look, you can't tell the American people to F off when you disagree with them, like members of Congress do. You can't call half the American people traitors like Hakeem Jeffries did because they voted for President Donald Trump. You can't be Bernie Sanders saying we're going to defeat Trumpism when the very people in this country voted both through the Electoral College and the popular vote to elect Donald Trump. So they're united in stupid ideas of opposing an agenda that the American people have embraced. That's exactly what they are doing. And they are losing the American people along the way. Hardworking blue-collar workers from Michigan and beyond who continue to believe in the Trump agenda that puts America first and socialism and their crazy ideas last.
Well, look, if anybody thought you were making it up about the F-bomb part, because we aren't going to say the words, but they're saying them on the left. Far left Congresswoman Ilhan Omar stunning a reporter with this.
Do you think more of your Democratic colleagues should be traveling to El Salvador to advocate on behalf of Rodrigo Garcia?
I think you should off. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, what? Congresswoman?
off.
Who should?
You.
Wow, Democrats embracing the swearing strategy lately, and we're going to show you more of that. But Senator Pryor, I want to come to you first. I mean, this is a level of cringe that is almost unwatchable. What's happening inside your party, and can you change it?
Yeah, so Cory, it's great to see you, by the way. Thank you for having me on today. You know, candidly, there's no place for that in American politics. You know, we should be at a place where we have, public square where we're talking about issues, we're, debating issues, we're going back and forth on issues, but, dropping F-bombs, et cetera, there's just no point in that. There's no future in that. So I would certainly encourage not just Democrats, but all office holders, anyone seeking office should let's improve what we've got here, and let's really represent the best of what America has to offer, not the worst.
And Senator, while you were speaking, we put up a New York Times op-ed that said that the F word won't help Democrats at this point, kind of the point that you're making too. It won't save them. What will? Because right now your party is divided, and it is a real mess. It's a freak show. I mean, that's an F word that we can use.
Well, the truth is that both parties have a lot of problems. Both parties are divided. Right now,
one party's in power, though, and they're doing pretty good. So let's stick with the Democrats.
I hear what you're saying, but, right now they're working on reconciliation. They can't seem to agree on that. That's okay.
We know it.
They're going to work through that. Hopefully, from their standpoint, they'll get a bill. I don't know if they do or not, but, they'll try, and the process hopefully will work, and we'll see what happens. But Democrats need to be for something. And this is something that we've talked about before, is that it's one thing to be against Donald Trump, and for a Democrat, it may be an easy thing to be against Donald Trump. But you need to be for things. You need to be for what makes this country great. You need to be for different things we can work on together. I would love to see the president. By the way, I saw the president and maybe Gretchen Whitmer or someone the other day together. I would love to see more of that. I would love to see Democrats and Republicans working together. I'd love the president to reach out, but I'd love for the Democratic governors and senators and congressmen to reach out across the aisle as well and try to get some good things done for this country.
Senator Gardner, your response.
Well, look, I think the Democrats are for things. We've seen it clearly. They're for letting tax cuts expire. They're for increasing taxes dramatically. They're for wasteful spending at levels that are going to destroy this country. They're for blocking President Trump's nominees. That's what they are for. They are not. They are united in their opposition, and that's a strategy, right? Where they fracture is how to actually deal with the American people who supported a strong Trump agenda, an American first agenda. That's where they fracture. You can't go to places like Colorado and sell a message of Donald Trump versus Donald Trump struggling in America, in Colorado, versus Arkansas. You can't have that same message right now. What sells for Bernie Sanders isn't going to work in the states that elected Donald Trump, and that's exactly what they are struggling to do.
That is really interesting. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to have both former senators in the Power panel today in Focus. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
I look forward to having you back.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.